We are the anchors of Queer News Tonight, and this evening we discuss the queer headlines. Ron DeSantis clashed with libs of TikTok over alleged misinformation about Florida laws. The dispute underscores social media's impact on political discourse. He calls her a liar for clicks. Yeah.
The U.S. House of Representatives passed a bill to ban TikTok, alarming LGBTQ+ users and creators over the potential impact.
Gay council member Chris Kilpatrick resigned after a video allegedly showed him urinating on precinct bars' doors in L.A. Uncertainty surrounds potential charges.
The Supreme Court upheld a Texas university's ban on drag shows, sparking debate on First Amendment rights.
The 35th GLAAD Media Awards celebrated LGBTQ+ representation, honoring figures like Oprah Winfrey. Oprah got emotional talking about her gay brother's due death to HIV.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Queer News Tonight. This is the world's first and only LGBTQ+ daily evening television news, broadcasting live and then available on demand. Available on all smart televisions, including Roku, Apple TV, Android TV, Amazon Fire TV, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. It's time to queer up the news for Monday, March 18th, 2024. We are live and literally out of the closet and into the headlines. So many of your important stories we're going to tell this evening on Queer News Tonight.
This is the world's first live daily LGBTQ evening news show, literally out of the closet and into the headlines on Queer News Tonight.
This is the world's first and only unedited live LGBTQ+ evening news show. Whatever happens, unique in LGBTQ news, you will see it and hear it.
Hotspots Magazine Happening Out Television Network is a nonprofit 501c3 media company in the same model of PBS and NPR, but designed for the LGBTQ+ community. Our mission is to support the 11 pillars of our LGBTQ+ community. We want to inform and educate the key issues of our queer culture, the Black community, Latino, lesbians and queer women, trans, students and youth, seniors, HIV/AIDS healthcare, business, social justice, and faith. Help us support our community.
We are part of one of the largest LGBTQ+ nonprofit media companies in America, Hotspots Magazine and Happening Out Television Network. In 2024, our magazine is celebrating 40 years of the LGBTQ+ experience, and our television news, talk, and entertainment shows support our mission to educate the LGBTQ+ and broader community.
That's right, Gregory. And let's meet tonight's anchors at Queer News Tonight. Let's welcome Otto Zielke. From a successful career in financial marketing to his current role as the Director of Marketing and Sponsorship for the incredible Gay Men's Chorus of South Florida. Edward's journey is marked by accolades and achievements, too many of them for me to mention here because it's only an hour show. The Gay Men's Chorus of South Florida is one of the world's largest and most important LGBTQ+ cultural arts organizations. Edward, the Gay Men's Chorus of South Florida has an epic concert coming up called Hooray for Hollywood at the Parker, March 22nd. The gossip is that it's almost completely sold out. Tell me what's happening.
Oh my goodness. I think there's probably maybe about 50 tickets that are left for the show. It's incredible. Yeah, we're going to have a fantastic time. It's great music. You know, I think everybody can identify with something in this show. You know, we're doing the whole spectrum, about 100 years of celebrating movie magic musicals. So, you know, you'll hear everything from The Sound of Music all the way up to the 2024 Barbie soundtrack. So it's going to be fantastic.
I love it. And Mr. Salazar, of course, is going to make sure that Barbie's included somewhere because that's like his favorite movie.
Yes. I mean, did you see his hair last summer?
I did. Only he can pull that off.
Oh,
too,
yes,
by
definitely.
the way. Please send our regards.
He looked great.
We love us some Gabe for sure.
Yeah.
Next up, let's welcome anchor Gregg Shapiro. Gregg's 9th book, Refrain and Light, was selected for the Poetry Mutual 10 Best Poetry Books of 2023. His entertainment coverage, including celebrity interviews, runs in a variety of print and online publications. Gregg, the major music festival Sunfest will bring the Aces to West Palm Beach May 4th. Tell me what's happening.
So the Aces, I recommend them to everybody. It's an amazing all-female quartet that is 3/4 queer. So 3 of the 4. Those aren't bad odds.
No, they're not.
And I recently had the pleasure of interviewing frontwoman Crystal Ramirez about the band and its upcoming May 4th Sunfest gig. They'll be on the Ford stage. And I did the interview for Out South Florida. She was delightful. It should be a great set. Billy Idol is also performing.
What?
There's some really cool acts at this,
Oh my God,
at this festival.
amazing.
West Palm Beach, yeah.
Sunfest, get your tickets today, all right?
And of course, this is tonight's lead anchor, Fay What? She is a legendary events host, television and radio personality, and the host of the Fay What Show on Mondays at 9 a.m. and then on demand. Fay, I hear you are going to be the queen of Easter as you host the pub's Easter party and dinner with the W Boys star Eric Restivo on March 31st. Tell us what's happening.
Oh my God. So I love the pub. Thank you. Big shout out going out to Alex and everybody over there at the pub.
They're
I
great.
adore you guys. Aren't they fantastic?
They've advertised with us in the chorus.
Oh, I love them so much. So they tapped me and they said, hey, you want to host our Easter bonnet contest? I'm like, hell to the yeah, on Easter. You know, I've got a big bonnet. I've got a big bonnet and I'm ready to show it, you know? And I get to guest host with the incredible Eric Restivo from the W Boys. He's also part of the Fay What Show on Time to Time. And we're going to have an incredible time. So show up. It's going to be from 5 to 8 p.m. You can start signing up for the contest at 5. We're going to start the contest a little bit after 6 p.m. And it's going to be a whole lot of fun. So go follow the pub so you can get all the information and you can hang out with me and Eric Restivo for Easter. Maybe I'll dress like a sexy Easter bunny.
But I want to hear about the bonnet.
You would.
Okay.
You would, of course. We are the reporters for Queer News Tonight, and this evening we begin with the queer headlines. The LGBTQ plus community in South Florida and across America is diverse. Our community across the world is vast. And here are the bullet points of the queer news for today, Monday, March 18th, 2024. First this evening, let's queer up politics. The deplorables as Ron DeSantis battles libs of TikTok of lying for clicks. Ron DeSantis, Florida's Republican governor, accused libs of TikTok of spreading falsehoods about state laws in a recent social media post. The controversy stemmed from a claim made from Haya Raychick, the founder of the right-wing social media account, suggesting that 3 Guatemalan men had been arrested for kidnapping and assaulting a Florida woman. Raychick further asserted that Florida grants driver's licenses to undocumented immigrants, which is not accurate according to our state laws. Responding to the post, DeSantis denounced libs of TikTok for spreading misinformation to garner attention. He accused the account of lying to generate clicks and engagement. The exchange highlights the ongoing battle over accurate reporting and the influence of social media platforms in shaping public perception of political issues. He said, quote, "Truth shouldn't be a casualty of attempts to generate clicks and engagement farm," end quote. Libs of TikTok has gained notoriety for its targeting of pro-LGBTQ plus activists and institutions. According to Media Matters, at least 28 entities highlighted by Libs of TikTok online have reported threats to law enforcement. Notably, Haya Raychick, the account founder, is not implicated in making any of these threats. DeSantis and Libs of TikTok were fans of each other once upon a time. What went wrong? Or should we say, what went right? Listen, I hope more people come to their senses, all right? Like this.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's all these people that have supported DeSantis and have gone along with everything that he's been saying. And then, you know, and it's like, a lot more people are falling out with each other, and I'm glad that it's happening, you know? The spread of misinformation is life-threatening to our community. You say things like this, you say anti-LGBTQ plus rhetoric, people believe it out there, all right? Especially crazy Republicans. Yeah. And then that is why the amount of hate crimes have gone up exponentially. That's why suicide of LGBTQ plus youth has gone up exponentially, all because of falsehoods that are being spewed by people like this that have a platform. This is dangerous. Absolutely. This is so dangerous to our community. And it's dangerous to even people that are not in our community. These poor Guatemalan immigrants, you know, are also part of this crazy backlash, you know? What do you think, Greg?
Well, I do think it's kind of fun to stand back and watch them eat their own. They're devouring each other, the bones too. And also, if a potential ban of TikTok means that deplorable Haya Raychick won't have a platform to spew her visceral hatred, then bring on the ban. If it means that she won't have that outlet, yeah,
but she has that outlet and she's not even held accountable for any of it, Gregory.
None
of it.
Not implicated.
Edward, what do you think, baby?
I'm just glad that, we're finally seeing a little bit more of a change, and people actually taking a stand for something like this, because there's been so much misinformation that's being gone out there and towards, especially towards the LGBTQ plus community. So it's extremely important that, we're telling the right stories and, we're being as accurate as possible. So
exactly, like media should be. Go figure, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jeez. Edward, what's that? What's next? What do we have next? Next? You were right there. Go for it. There you go.
Next, let's queer up business. Queer news TikTokers say app ban will eliminate LGBTQ plus communities and activism. The U.S. House of Representatives have passed a bill aiming to ban TikTok, some suggesting it poses a threat to its LGBTQ plus users and content creators. The Protecting Americans from Foreign Adversary Controlled Applications Act received broad bipartisan support, with 352 votes in favor and 65 against. If enacted, the legislation would remove TikTok from the U.S. app stores unless its Chinese owner, ByteDance, sells it to an American company. The bill awaits Senate approval before reaching President Joe Biden's desk, who has expressed willingness to sign it. However, concerns have been raised about potential backlash from young voters who have been actively lobbying against the bill. Many fear that the ban would disrupt the LGBTQ plus communities and livelihoods built on the platform. A law in Montana that was similar to the proposed national legislation faced legal opposition from TikTok, suggesting potential challenges ahead. Content creators have been advised to build audiences on alternative platforms amid uncertainty. LGBTQ plus TikTokers caution the ban could disproportionately impact their community, erasing vital networks. Non-binary TikToker Jeffrey Marsh, with nearly 700,000 followers, fears losing their supportive community if TikTok is banned. Marsh acknowledges TikTok's flaws, but its value its unique capacity for connection, expressing concern over its potential demise. The TikTok debate is really the first major exploration of what the issues of and what the future will look like for social media. It's just so important that we make sure that we're really not banning anything per se. We have to really examine everything in terms of, what we're putting out there with content. It's so important for young people to express themselves creatively.
Yes.
They use these things like TikTok and Reels and stuff just, to get themselves seen if they're artists and stuff. They profiled on RuPaul's Drag Race 2 drag queens from TikTok last year.
Yes, Spice and
Sugar and Spice.
Sugar and Spice.
Yes, and
I was and everything nice.
And they found them on TikTok, and this is where how they created themselves in this world. And and I would just really hate to see that something like that taken away from our community. Where they find their voice.
Where they find their voice. But we're very blessed that social media is not only one platform, Edward. You know what I mean? Like as someone that's on social media, I have a love-hate with TikTok. Okay, I just can't. I can't wrap my head around the whole thing. But I do understand how important it is for people of our community to have a place where they can express themselves, and it would suck for someone that has 700,000 followers to lose that, because it takes a lot of time and effort to gain your followers.
But wouldn't they just follow? Wouldn't they, if they found out where whatever the next platform was? They wouldn't.
But they would have to. Like, you would have to get to them in some way. If you've lost your platform, how do you tell them that you've lost it? Or
maybe you start building another one
immediately, and that's what they're telling them. They're saying, right now, get it started before if the inevitability of it all, if we end up losing TikTok as a whole, then at least you've already started something else,
I just keep thinking about how much worse it would be if Trump's former Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin, he's threatening to buy TikTok.
Is he?
He's expressed interest in doing so because some old fart like that would even know what to do with it, of course.
Really?
And I don't often quote memes, but there's one out there that says, quote, "Right now, I'm less concerned about who owns TikTok than I am about who owns the Supreme Court."
Dude.
End quote.
Facts.
Yeah.
Hashtag facts.
Yes.
Okay, you're absolutely right, Greg. We're paying so much attention to this crap, and it's like, come on, Someone in the U.S. is going to buy it. You know it's going to get bought. These people can't live without TikTok.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's the new YouTube. Like, you can't just get rid of it. Someone's going to buy it, and that's that, you know? And our freedoms are our freedoms, you know? My wife personally thinks that China's spying on us through TikTok, so she's like, do away with it. I don't care. But again, my wife is a crazy Cuban, and that's how she feels about things, so we just let her be her. All right? Right. Next, let's queer up the USA view. LA area gay city councilman resigns over public urination and assault video. Chris Kilpatrick, a gay council member from California, resigned days after he and his partner were allegedly caught on video urinating on the doors of Precinct, a popular LGBTQ plus bar in LA. Last week, the Crescenta Valley Town Council announced that Kilpatrick resigned. The alleged urination incident took place on Saturday, March 9th. However, the bar did not share this video footage until this week. The Precinct wrote in the post, quote, "These two party boys decided to show everyone what not to do at Precinct," end quote. The post describes how the individuals initially left the bar with full cocktail glasses, proceeded to the employee entrance, and urinated on it. Afterward, they were confronted by a manager when spotted with the drinks, leading to a physical altercation. Though Precinct didn't directly tag or identify the two people in the video, the pair was quickly recognized by local LA queens, because they know everything, and former contestants from RuPaul's Drag Race and the Boulet Brothers Dragula. In an email sent to Out, Kilpatrick's attorney, John Duran, disputed the alleged assault described in the Instagram post shared by Precinct, saying that Kilpatrick instinctively pushed back in self-defense, fearing a potential gay-bashing incident from the two individuals. It is unclear if Kilpatrick will face any charges for the alleged act of public urination, alleged assault, accusations, and or for allegedly having an open alcoholic beverage in public.
Someone within our own community is like disrespecting us like that.
A disturbing act caught on surveillance video. Crescenta Valley Town Council member Chris Kilpatrick, one of two men caught urinating on the back door outside Precinct Bar in downtown LA. General Manager Jeremy Lucido says it happened early Sunday morning just after closing. Moments later, he'd have a run-in with the men off camera.
Right outside the back entrance, and I noticed two guys come out, you know, drunk, they're full cocktails, and I recognized the glasses from our bar, so I knew they were inside, and I told them, you know, what's up, can't have your drinks out here, and I went to grab one of the cups, and the tall dude just pushed me.
A check of the security footage Sunday morning led Lucido to the shocking footage of the public urination, which he then shared to Instagram, many identifying Kilpatrick as the video racked up nearly 1,000 comments.
The comments just grew very fast with different stories from different parties, other party hosts and other bar managers. They were like, oh yeah, we know them.
Drunk boys will be drunk boys. Doesn't matter if you're a councilman or not, you know, but accountability is important, folks. And I think that, you know, people have gotten fined and arrested for way less. All right. So I honestly think that LA officials should crack down on him. And, you know, I know that he resigned and he loses his place. And that's, you know, that's something that we never want in our community, because we need as many LGBTQ plus people in office as possible. But dude, you got to be accountable for your actions. You can't just get drunk and start peeing on people or peeing in a public place. There's a restroom for a reason, Mr. Kilpatrick. Like, come on. And again, maybe he had a bad history with jail, you know, because the place is called Precinct, you know. I used to go to this bar called the Men's Room, right? And in San Francisco, right? And again, I get it. I'm in the men's room. Ha ha ha. Let me do something. Let me throw some toilet paper because the place is called the Men's Room. But come on, you know, accountability. That's what I'm expecting.
Well, was he too drunk to see the two CCTV cameras on the other side? It was a glass door. It wasn't even like it was a solid door.
You can't see me.
Couldn't see us. Right. I'm drunk and invisible. But I mean, imagine what a different world. I mean, I'm glad he resigned. And imagine what a different world it would be if, say, I don't know, Clarence Thomas resigned from the Supreme Court for bad behavior too. You know, it'd be a different world. Mm-hmm. So I commend him for resigning, but get that bladder fixed. I mean,
what do you think, Edward?
Well, you know, as someone who doesn't drink anymore, and has had their share of drinks for many years, you know, I've had some questionable behavior, but it's kind of like a learning process, you go through. It's kind of like, now I'm 12 years sober, so I'm thrilled that, those type of behaviors are behind me, because to me that sounds like, it's a little bit of hectic behavior, whether or not they're identifying at this point, as it being a problem.
Yeah.
But if you're, in office, you're a representation of our community.
Very true.
And you have to make sure that, you're putting your best life forward, regardless of where you are in the environment, I would think, so you're leading by example. So, at least you resigned, I mean, there's some people that really should resign and they don't. So.
Right. But you hit a good point though, Edward. Like, he's representing us everywhere. It doesn't matter. That's what happens when you get elected into office, because there's so few of us, that are in office. So they're looking at everything that you do, and
a lot of responsibility.
I mean, again, I'm also sober. I love that you're sober, Edward. And raise your hand if you ever peed in public. Okay, but since I got sober, I haven't. And for boys, it's so easy for you kids to freaking pee in public. It's no problem. Go to a corner. How are you gonna do it in front of the place through a glass door? I'm sorry.
That wasn't really good thinking. But then again,
maybe they're just exhibitionists. Who knows?
Sure.
Next, let's queer up courts. Here's why the Supreme Court says First Amendment may not apply to government ban on drag in Texas. In a landmark decision announced, the Supreme Court has allowed a Texas university's ban on drag shows to remain, sparking controversy over First Amendment rights. The ruling in Spectrum WT versus Wendler upholds the ban preventing LGBTQ+ college students from expressing themselves on campus. Spectrum WT had its annual drag show abruptly canceled less than 2 weeks before the scheduled event. The ban, imposed by University President Walter Wendler, cited drag as derisive and divisive, claiming it perpetuates misogyny. Spectrum WT, the LGBTQ+ student organization, faces restrictions despite its strong First Amendment case. While the decision is temporary, it raises concerns about free speech on public university campuses. The Federal Appeals Court is poised to review the case with the potential to overturn the ban. Should the ban stand, the plaintiffs may escalate the matter back to the Supreme Court. However, this ruling practically prevents the group from hosting its campus show for the second consecutive year. Even if Wendler's argument positing the inherently sexist nature of drag shows were accurate, activists argue the First Amendment still shields such speech. As a matter of fact, it safeguards most offensive, objectionable, or even hateful speech, as demonstrated in the Supreme Court's 2011 ruling permitting members of an infamous anti-gay church to protest at a fallen Marine's funeral with provocative signs. Queer News Tonight will continue to follow this evolving story as this contentious issue continues to unfold. Once again, I find myself thanking Texas for making Florida look so much better. Gracias, Texas. And for the record, what does derisiveness and divisiveness have to do with this free speech guarantee of the First Amendment? Like they said, it's a hate speech group got to protest, so you can't use those. You can't use that as your excuse.
Yeah. No, like at all. And I mean, God, I pray for the people in Texas constantly, because again, like you said, when I look over at Texas, I'm like, we ain't that bad. Right? But I mean, that's not a good thing. We went through all those drag ban, issues. We've gone through anti-LGBTQ plus, youth ban, bills, and, I cry for those people, for the people that are LGBTQ plus, because we're everywhere. Okay. Don't let people make you think any different. And, it's, I saw a TikTok video the other day about a dad who had just run into a trans woman at a local convenience store. Right. And he decided to do a video saying how much he admires admired her bravery and courage for being a trans woman in Texas. And he did the video with his kid. And he's like, I'm an ally. I don't know if he is yet. And the kid goes, I am. There's nothing wrong with her. And I was like, oh my God, I get chills because, you know, ally parents make ally kids, you know? And I know there's a lot of good people in Texas. Not everyone there freaking hates us and wants us to stop breathing, you know? And did you see this Wendler's face? Walter Wendler? The guy needs to see a drag show. He needs some happiness in his life. It looks like his mouth like wants to run away from his nose, you know, because it's so sad being on its face, you know, like it's just, you know, drag is not bad. Drag is not a crime. Drag is entertainment.
Art.
Drag is art.
Drag has been around since day one.
Shakespeare.
You know, I mean, really, even with the Adam and Eve, man, putting the apple right in, you know, I mean, it's just part of what you're putting on, you know, and how you express yourself. You know, RuPaul says it so wonderfully, you know, it's just, you're born naked, the rest is drag.
The rest is drag, baby. Right. Absolutely right. Next up, let's queer up entertainment. GLAAD Media Awards includes Oprah Winfrey's emotional speech on gay brother's death from AIDS. The 35th annual GLAAD Media Awards unfolded with glamour and significance in Beverly Hills, California. Hosted by Wayne Brady, the ceremony celebrated media that champions LGBTQ+ representation. Renowned personalities like Niecy Nash-Betts, Oprah Winfrey, and actress Renee Rapp were honored for their impactful contributions. Nash-Betts received the Stephen F. Kozak Award, while Winfrey was bestowed with the prestigious Vanguard Award. In her heartfelt acceptance speech, Winfrey shared poignant memories of her late brother and his struggle with acceptance. Continuing her address, Winfrey expressed her vision for leveraging the Oprah Winfrey Show, spanning from 1986 to 2011, to empower individuals to embrace their true identities. Reflecting on a pivotal moment in Williamson, West Virginia in 1987, she recounted convening on a town council to address the closure of a pool after a gay man with HIV swam in it. Concluding her speech, Winfrey committed to the ongoing hiring of queer and trans filmmakers, advocating for authentic portrayals on screen, and reaffirmed her steadfast support for the LGBTQ+ community. Notable winners of the event also included Fellow Travelers for Outstanding Limited or Anthology Series, Ted Lasso for Outstanding Comedy, and Yellow Jackets for Outstanding Drama.
I also want to just take a moment and acknowledge every person in this room, every one of you in this space, for being who you are, for standing in the truth of who you are, because it's a beautiful thing to witness and an even more beautiful thing to be a part of. I have to say that many people don't know this, but 35 years ago, my brother Jeffrey Lee passed away when he was just 29 years old from AIDS. Growing up at the time, we did, in the community that we didn't have the language to understand or to speak about sexuality and gender in the way that we do now. And at the time, I really didn't know how deeply my brother internalized the shame that he felt about being gay.
I love Oprah Winfrey. And before I get to my comment, damn, she looks good. That's the maglitide is working, girl. It is working. You look amazing. I know you don't want to say it's Ozempic, but we all know it. All right. Now getting back to it. You know, God, Oprah Winfrey is one of my iconic, like, just everything to me. Ever since I was a little girl, I looked up to her. You know, I wanted to be the Latina Oprah Winfrey and make people cry. Every time I make somebody cry in bed, I'm like, yes, right? And that's because of Oprah, you know? But one thing that I love is her steadfast support of our community, right? And I never knew that there was another underlying reason as to why, you know? Like, she has always made it so important. Like, if you haven't seen The New Color Purple, man, you're missing out. Please go see it. But she was always at the forefront of making that story authentic in what it was. And it's not a feel-good story. You know, it's not. And just like, you know, she's always been a huge advocate about our community and the trans community. And, you know, so to find out that her brother died of AIDS, I had no idea. And I thought I knew everything about Miss O, you know. More about the GLAAD Awards. I love the GLAAD Media Awards. fellow travelers, okay? I get goosebumps just thinking about it. I'm not an opera girl. I'm not someone who even understands what the hell they're saying, right? And so at the Center of Spiritual Living, they had fellow travelers as an opera for a while. And I was able to sit and feel it, right? And I'm getting goosebumps just because I was so taken aback. Again, I had no idea what was being said for most of it, right? But I could feel it in my groin, right? You could just feel it. And so then when the show came out, I had to go see it. But it wouldn't have been something that I would have automatically gone to see. And then just seeing the portrayals were just incredible, you know?
Yeah.
And then Ted Lasso, you know, which is funny as hell. I don't know shit about soccer, and I never even wanted to know anything about soccer, but the gay storylines. There was a gay soccer player. I was trying to keep it from everybody. And also the beautiful Miss Keeley, who is always having a relationship with a girl here and trying to make out with Miss Waddingham and all that. And they make it very, very casual and fun, you know? I think that that's so important that shows do that. You know, we're not freaks. We're not freaks of nature. We're not different from anybody else. We put on our pants one leg at a time, just like everybody else does. And these shows make it relatable and real for people that maybe don't have LGBTQ plus people in their lives, for them to see that we really are wonderful people.
You know who else looked fabulous? Was just to Oprah's left on the stage, the amazing, ageless, legendary drag goddess from Chicago, Chili Pepper.
Oh my God.
She looked gorgeous there. I'm just a little disappointed that it took Oprah this long to share that story, because I think with the audience that she reached, especially her sort of kind of a suburban mom kind of audience, that she really could have helped a lot of people if she had spoken up sooner. That's all. I'm glad she did, but I just wish she had done it.
Yeah, you know, I mean, but I don't really know much about the brother's journey in terms of his own struggle with LGBTQ plus. So, you know, I'm wondering if it's out of respect for him or for the other people, but
or for the family,
for the family or whatever. But you know, I think it's just, you know, when you find that truth and when you're able to express it and just sit with it, and I think that it's such a beautiful expression, you know, to witness from other people, especially in your family, you know, and to be accepted.
Yeah.
So, especially somebody like Oprah, who, you know.
It's freaking Oprah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So don't downplay it, Greg. Okay. It was her time to say it now.
Okay.
Thank you. Continue, Ed.
Next, we are proud of our special partnership with Sunshine Cathedral, the world's largest queer church here in Fort Lauderdale. Supporting that partnership, we are broadcasting from our permanent residence here in Sunshine Cathedral at the Happening Out television studios. We broadcast Sunshine Cathedral Sunday International Service at 10:30 a.m.
We finished tonight's Queer News headlines with a segment we call LGBTQ plus 1 Minute News.
LGBTQ plus 1 Minute News. Let's queer up health. Will you use Ultra PrEP that requires just 3 injections a year? A groundbreaking PrEP injection could revolutionize HIV prevention. Vive Healthcare's Cabotegravir, ultra-long-acting Cabula, requires just 3 annual injections, promising enhanced protection. Initially, FDA approved in 2021 for bi-monthly injections, the drug is now being trialed for 4-month intervals. ViiV presented promising trial results at the CROI 2024 conference, indicating its potential efficacy. If successful, this advancement can significantly improve PrEP adherence and accessibility, offering a game-changing solution in the fight against HIV transmission.
LGBTQ plus 1-minute news. Let's queer up gay culture. What's hot this week from Hotspots magazine? Hotspots' new issue brings updates on interesting events in South Florida this week. Features include Paul Anka's performance at Broward Center on March 18th and Greater Fort Lauderdale Gay and Lesbian Chamber of Commerce March Mixer on March 19th. Taylor Dane, Sheila Easton, and Tiffany take the stage at Broward Center on March 21st. Palm Beach Pride is March 23rd and 24th. Other entertainment focuses include The Prom by Slow Burn Theater Company from March 23rd through April 7th, Rhythm by the River Festival on March 24th, and Six the Musical at Kravitz Center from March 26th through March 31st. So much to do this week, exclusively in the new Hotspots magazine.
LGBTQ plus 1-minute news. Let's queer up travel. Visit Lauderdale brings GMCSF Hooray for Hollywood. The Gay Men's Chorus of South Florida presents Hooray for Hollywood at the St. Lillian S. Wells Hall at the Parker on March 22nd. The event promises live music and entertainment. Known for its large-scale concerts and community engagements, GMCSF serves as a vital LGBTQ plus nonprofit in South Florida. With a mission to bring cultural enrichment to the community, this event showcases the chorus's talent and dedication to fostering inclusivity and pride. Don't miss the opportunity to experience the magic of music and celebrate LGBTQ plus culture in South Florida. Tickets and further information are available at visitlauderdale.com or gmcsf.org.
LGBTQ plus 1-minute news. Let's queer up the USA view. Trump-backed Senate candidate now linked to a gay hookup site. In the Ohio primary race, Bernie Moreno's campaign faces scrutiny over a leaked dating site account seeking men for one-on-one sex. This revelation came just days before the crucial Republican primary. While Moreno previously supported LGBTQ rights, his stance shifted during the Trump era. Moreno's attorney clarified that Moreno was not involved with the account. Moreno's former aide, Ricci, took responsibility, calling it an aborted prank. The incident adds intrigue to the already heated primary contest, raising questions about Moreno's credibility and campaign tactics. Ohio Republican primary is this week.
LGBTQ plus 1-minute news. Let's queer up gay culture. Pornhub suspends Texas access over ineffective and dangerous new law. Pornhub has suspended access to users in Texas after a court upheld a law requiring age verification. House Bill 1181 mandates users to submit ID photos and facial scans. The law, passed in 2023, was challenged by Pornhub, citing First Amendment violations. While part of the law was blocked last year, the age verification requirement stood. The U.S. Court of Appeals upheld this, citing a 1968 Supreme Court decision. In response, Pornhub blocked access to its site in Texas, complying with the ruling. That is today's news for the LGBTQ plus community on the world's first and only daily LGBTQ plus evening news show.
If our community is important to you, share this news with your friends and family. Are you, like most of America, part of our very large television audience watching this live LGBTQ plus news broadcast right now on Roku, Apple TV, Android TV, and Amazon Fire TV?
Queer News Tonight is the only live LGBTQ plus digital television show in the world that is out of the closet and into the headlines. We need your support. If our community is to grow, we must tell our stories and bring them to the attention of the broader world.
This is the only place in the world that tells these types of LGBTQ plus stories in motion and sound. That is the passion of Hotspots magazine, Happening Out Television Network, and Queer News Tonight.
I'm your anchor at Queer News Tonight, Fay What? And on behalf of these LGBTQ plus reporters, the incredible anchors of Queer News Tonight, including Edward, Otto, Zielke, yes, I got it, and Gregg Shapiro, we will see you daily at 8 p.m. And to our LGBTQ plus world, we wish you good night.
Good night.
Bye.